What is cellular reproduction? Well, reproduction means making more of your own kind, so it basically means cell makes more cells. There are two types, asexual and sexual. The main difference between them are asexual produces two offsprings with one parent cell, while sexual reproduction produces offsprings from fertilization of an egg by sperm. Both have advantages and disadvantages. For example, asexual reproduction is faster and produces large amounts of offsprings, but there's no genetic variation since all offsprings are identical, while sexual reproduction is slow and produces less offsprings, but they're genetically different. For now, I'll focus on asexual reproduction of an eukaryotic cell, which is called mitosis. Mitosis has 5 phases: prophase, prometaphase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. But before mitosis begins, the cell needs to grow. This process is called interphase, which is a big chunk of this whole process. Interphase can be split into 3 parts, G1, S, and G2. To simplify them, the cell grows, it copies its chromosomes, and then it grows some more. Now that the cell has grown, it's ready to start dividing, starting with prophase. In prophase, chromosomes, which are made up of 2 sister chromatids connected by a centromere, are formed. Next is prometaphase, where the nuclear envelope breaks and the centrosomes go to opposite sides of the cell, while the spindle microtubules attach themselves to the chromosomes using a kinetochore. In metaphase, the mitotic spindle is fully formed, and all of the chromosomes sit in the center of the cell on the metaphase plate. Now with anaphase, where things start to make a little more sense, because in prophase to metaphase, things are moving around and are formed, but this is where the cell starts to split. In anaphase, the chromosomes are split apart into daughter chromosomes and are pulled to opposite ends of the cell. This happens so that when the cell splits, each daughter has an equal amount of chromosomes they need. Then there's telophase, where there are now technically 2 cells, each with their own kinda nucleus it's still forming. Now mitosis is completed. Except the cells are still stuck to each other, so therefore there is one more step called cytokinesis, where basically the cytoplasm forms a cleavage furrow and then is pinched into 2 cells. But in cytokinesis in a plant cell differs, because it creates a cell plate. And that was mitosis, where one parent cell turned into 2 daughter cells through asexual reproduction. Now on to meiosis. Meiosis is sexual reproduction where a sperm cell and an egg called gametes form a fertilized egg called a zygote. Meiosis has 2 parts, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. But before meiosis, just like mitosis, there is an interphase, where the cell grows and replicates DNA, but this is where it gets confusing. Normal cells that aren't gametes have 46 chromosomes, making them diploid cells, but gametes have 23 chromosomes, making them haploid cells. These chromosomes are called homologous chromosomes because they carry genes that control some inherited characteristics. Homologous chromosomes are useful because it allows genetic diversity through the process of crossing over, which occurs in prophase 1. In the process of crossing over, homologous chromosomes can transfer their genes between each other. Gametes only have 23 chromosomes because during meiosis, the parent cell splits twice to create 4 daughter cells. Let me explain. So the parent cell after interphase starts with 46 chromosomes and 92 chromatids. Then it splits, making the daughter cells have 23 chromosomes and 46 chromatids. Then they split again. When they split again, that's when mitosis 2 begins, and it's the exact same as meiosis, but the big difference is that sister chromatids are separated. Then finally, meiosis ends with 4 daughter haploid cells, each with 23 chromosomes. Thank you. That was What is Cellular Reproduction by Nyla Benatzky, 10th grade.